Hey, good to see you. Hope you're doing great. Listen, on this video, I want to talk about 3 essential skills that our certified leasing consultants, the folks that go through leasinguniversity.com have, that I think will help you out tremendously in your property management career. And to that end, if you haven't checked out leasinguniversity.com yet, please head over and check it out. It is very simple, very easy to earn your certified leasing consultant credential. We'd love to have you over at Leasing University. Folks that go through our on-demand video training, they can do it right from their phone, bam. Folks that go through that training lease 7 times more apartments. So that is a critical, game-changing thing to have if you work in property management. And if you work in property management, please consider subscribing to this channel. I think there's a little red box right there. Do you see the red box with the hand? Click on the red box, hit subscriptions or subscribe, and hit the notifications. We will be giving you all kinds of consistent, helpful content that's going to help you close more leases. And I would love it if you hit that like button. All right, I covered all the housekeeping items. Let's talk about 3 essential skills that certified leasing consultants from Leasing University have that will help you right now. When it comes to property management and apartments, most people don't know how to communicate. Even fewer know how to sell, and only a small percentage know how to actually close the lease. I'm not saying they don't get closes, but they stumble upon them. They don't have a proven system and they haven't been trained to close more leases. Remember, when you're working with a prospect, it is your responsibility and your responsibility alone to close that lease. And moving is scary. And when we're scared, we delay, we think about things. We have objections and we have complaints. It's your job as a professional to be able to juggle all of that and make sure that that prospect, if they're the right fit, leases an apartment from you. Most leasing consultants and property managers, they don't get this. They get very good at everything else. They're good at making friends. They're good at the interpersonal skills. They're good at touring the property and showing apartments. But they really don't understand what it takes to actually close the lease. And this makes it so that they have to work a lot harder, and oftentimes they miss their goals, they miss their bonuses, and their property is not at the occupancy level that it could be had they simply worked on some things and developed a system for closing the lease. So here are 3 very important skills that you must master if you want to get those bonuses, if you want to hit your goals, and if you want to make sure that your property is constantly occupied somewhere north of 98%. Skill number 1, the ability to empathize with your prospects. Think about it. If you were in sales and let's say you worked at a regular retail store, or you worked at a grocery store or Starbucks, you don't really need to have empathy. You just need to answer a few questions and place the order. But that's not what it takes when it comes to property management. Like I said before, moving is scary, and your prospects are really depending on you to be that trusted advisor, to help them through this very difficult time in their life. And it's so important that you develop very specific skills and ways of communicating that make you become more empathetic, and more importantly, show that you can empathize with your prospect. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And this couldn't be more true with apartment communities. And unfortunately, as me and my people audit apartment communities, what we're finding is most leasing consultants, all they want to do is hammer home how much they know. Just give it a shot for yourself. Call a few apartment communities. Chances are the majority of that conversation is going to be spent with them doing all of the talking, and they're going to be talking about the features, the amenities, the location, the price, and the promotions of that particular apartment community. It's all about how much they know. Features, features, features. And they don't care about the prospect. If they do care, they're not showing it. They're not empathizing. They're not asking the right questions. They're not getting down to a personal level. That's why at Leasing University, we teach our leasing consultants to be empathetic. We show them what questions to ask, those questions that build a connection with their prospects, a personal connection, and make them that trusted advisor. Your prospects need to understand that you have their back and you care about their situation and you care about them as a person. You have to give a darn about your prospects. You have to care. Let me give you an example. Hey, Becky, you told me that you work at Lockheed Martin. Being that we're so close to Lockheed, we take it very seriously. And what we're seeing from a lot of the folks that work over at Lockheed Martin is it's pretty stressful. Typically, folks that work over there are asked to come into evening meetings. You've got emergency meetings. You could even be called into work over the weekends. And what we're finding is people that live further out, well, they're getting stuck in traffic and they are stressed out. And it's very difficult for them when they need to head into work, maybe in the evenings if they just need to pop in and pop out. That makes it difficult. Becky, does any of that ring true to you and what you're experiencing with your current home and not being close enough to work? That's somebody that cares enough. That's somebody that learned about the employers in their area, that learns about the prospect in front of them and what's going on with them. Matt, hey, I understand you're moving from Denver and you've never lived in Austin before. You're probably stressed out about the heat in the summertime, am I right? Don't worry, we've got a swimming pool, it's great, and Texas is not as hot as you thought it would be. What are some of your concerns moving from Denver, being that you've never lived in Texas before? I'd love to help you with those concerns. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. That's somebody that gives a darn about the prospect that's in front of them. That's somebody that cares more about the person than they do about their property and their community, improving how much they know. You've got to show your people how much you care about them first before they'll even care how much you know. Skill number 2 is the ability to uncover challenges and discover your prospects' pain points. Where are they living right now? What's their reason for moving? What's their ideal living situation? What is very difficult about what's going on in their life? And how can your property help them solve those pain points, those challenges, and those problems that they're experiencing right now? A lot of the time, the problem with property managers and leasing agents is not that they don't know how to sell or they don't know how to tour the community. They don't know how to diagnose. They don't know how to ask the right questions of their prospect to figure out the value. That's why a lot of times so many communities are caught in this race to the bottom in their marketplace. And what I mean by race to the bottom is there'll be a lot of new construction. And that will be followed up by a lot of lease specials and promotions. Suddenly, the entire marketplace is 3 months free, $1,000 gift cards. It's because the leasing professionals failed to even take the time to diagnose the problems of their prospects and to really deeply get a handle for the value of solving that. Listen, if you can understand and diagnose your prospects' problems and help them put a dollar value on those problems, for example, spending 20 minutes in the car to get to work each day when traffic is good. You got to spend 20 minutes in the car. Maybe there's a $4 toll. So now we're looking at 40 minutes of their life when traffic is good and $8 a day in fees. Start to add that up over the course of a month, over the course of a year. What's an hour of their time worth? What's 40 minutes of their time worth? Now let's say traffic is bad and they're stuck for 2 hours. What are the repercussions of that? Are they maybe going to miss their child's soccer practice? Are they going to miss a meeting for work? True professionals are able to diagnose and they're able to attach value to being able to solve those problems. That's what students at Leasing University learn, is they learn how to diagnose. They essentially become real estate doctors, and it becomes very, very easy for them to close 7 times more leases, and they have a lot more pride in themselves, and they have a lot more fun doing their job because they're solving people's problems, not just giving away promotions and gift cards and months free. You're losing leases not because you have a lack of property knowledge, not because you don't understand your community or the real estate market. You're losing sales because you can't diagnose your prospects' problems and you can't attach a value to it. Listen, anybody can spout out what the features of the community are, and guess what? Your prospects, well, they already know it. It's called Google. They can simply go onto their phone or hit apartments.com or wherever it is that they want to go, and they can learn just about all the external things they need to know about the community. It's your job to connect with them on an internal level. And if you're able to do that, you are going to be a shining light. You are going to be an elite performer, and they are going to trust you, and you are going to get more leases. Skill number 3, the ability to handle objections, not overcome them, and the ability to tell the difference between an objection, which is something that you need to handle or address, you don't need to overcome it, and a mere complaint. Listen, moving is scary. People are stressed out. Moving is also very, very expensive. In most cases, I mean 98, 99% of the cases, this transaction that they are completing with you is the single greatest financial transaction that they will have going on in their life. People spend more on their rent, on their housing, than they do any other category in their life. So of course, they're going to have complaints. And let me explain something to you. There is no perfect apartment. There's always going to be something for your renter to complain about. What you need is a very specific system in a way of figuring out what's a complaint and handling that complaint in a positive, upbeat manner, handling that complaint very differently than you would handle an objection. And when you have an objection, meaning this is something you've now filtered down and you know that this objection needs to be handled or addressed in order for you to get that lease, well then you can confidently and positively walk your prospect through a very specific series of events that will help them with that objection. You're not going to overcome it. You're not going to fight your prospects. You're not going to argue your way into the lease. And some of you may be saying, man, you sound crazy. I don't argue my way into the lease. Well, if somebody says the apartment's too expensive and you start to say, no, it's not, let me show you the value, that's arguing with them. A lot of times all it takes is, I agree, I'm with you. $1,800 is expensive. It's an amazing, amazing home. And I think you're worth it. I think with you told me sitting in the car for 40 minutes every day, the paying the tolls, the being stressed out, missing your kid's soccer practice, being late for work. I think you deserve to improve your life. Does it make sense to go sign the lease? Our people have very specific training on how to deal with any objection, even the most difficult objections that come their way. We give them a system to deal with it. And that's what pros are able to do. The real pros are able to handle any objection, and more importantly, they know the difference between an objection and a complaint, and they can handle whatever comes their way. So I want you to think about these 3 things. I want you to start to implement them more in your career. I hope you'll consider checking out Leasing University. I hope if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comment section on this video. My name is Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Leasing University, the #1 training for property management professionals in the world. Until the next video, I want you to be great, and I want you to get those leases. I'll see you soon. 500 of the top property management companies work with Leasing University. We conduct 100 live apartment leasing training events per year. We help our clients sign over 100,000 additional leases per year, adding $2 billion to their revenue. Leasing consultants that have access to Leasing University lease 7 times more apartments than the rest of the industry. Leasing University is new. Leasing University is game-changing, and Leasing University will get you 7 times more leases. Listen, the apartment industry has changed. The way people rent apartments today is totally different than it was yesterday. Today's renter has more access to information, and they've got more choices in apartments than they've ever had before. If you're struggling to get leases, it's most likely not your location, it's not your amenities, and it's not your price. It's your sales training. If you've been made to sit through a boring class or unrealistic online training, and you're not getting the skills that you need to work with renters, to help you handle their objections, and to make sure you close the lease and rent the apartment, well, that ends today with Leasing University. Our simple, fun, and exciting step-by-step online training and live events will give you the skills and confidence that you need to lease 7 times more apartments. Earn your certified leasing consultant credential in less than 30 days with Leasing University. Simply click on the link to get started and head over to leasinguniversity.com now to start your training.